Thank you very much, and welcome to the stream. I'm gonna be looking a bit on Discord and stuff like that. Lots of planning goes into this tournament. Nice. I could even hear myself from the stream. Yeah, a lot of tech as well. Not the easiest for me to navigate, but here we are. So if these pairings are correct, I'll be playing against Maria, and she's playing this deck, playing Dimir Murktide, which looks like a fun matchup. Lots of reactive stuff. 4 counters, 4 drowns, 4 pushes, some pierce, some snares. That's cool. Doesn't look like she has a lot in the sideboard. Yeah, we can't complain about this hand. This hand is fine. I play basically Dimir Necro Dominance. Dimir Necro Dominance, blue because of Psychic Frog. When I looked at the lists, kind of dislike how the amount of 2-drops stacked up. So I just maximized on like Inquisition, pushes, Orcs, and Frogs. Hello, I'm playing Necrodominance, so this is not quite Dimir. Good old Nethergoyf. 2/3 that comes back. Inquisition. That should be a better play than Fatal Push. I can wait with that. So, fetch basic Swamp. Inquisition. If my opponent has 2 awesome cards, I can Grief. Okay, double counter. So my opponent can kind of craft a game plan here where they sit back behind the Goyf, some counters, and then they land a Murktide at some point. Question is if I'm gonna have 4 mana to kill it with this card at that point. I doubt it. I might want to grief that card. So let's see. Next turn, my opponent goes tap land. I hope so. Then I can sneak in the frog. So I'm supposed to take Fatal Push now and grief the Murktide. Pitch March, I guess. That was a lot of game actions turn 1, but I think this is how I have to play. If my opponent finds the second untapped land, I can be in trouble. But if my opponent's stuck with counter spells in hand, I can get back into the game with the frog. Bad news for me. So that thing hits like a truck. Let's see. How do I play this? If I Fatal Push on my opponent's upkeep, I can kind of develop Surveil Land. My opponent counters, they can keep up the beats. They don't counter, we kind of have this eye staring contest. I think I'm okay with that. Not really the best to Fatal Push that card, but it has to be done, and it's kind of a bait play-ish. I'm kind of on the back foot here. My opponent respects Necrodominance in particular here, I would say. My opponent counters here, and I play Necro, and I draw 8 cards. Bad things can happen, so I like how my opponent's playing here. My opponent's hand is currently Counterspell, 1 unknown. So I need more than just 1 Inquisition to power through here. I don't like my my spot here. Soul Spike is not a very good card. Let's get rid of that. That card is basically only in the deck for Necrodominant shenanigans. I have a second sewer than in the deck, so playing land pass here is not the end of the world. That's a fine draw for the opponent. Whatever they can do alongside holding up counterspell is going to be strong. Yeah, powering through double counterspell is going to be rough here. Trying to look at the list. Yeah, I don't think Drago favors me at all. Here's another land. So now my opponent is one land away from casting Nethergoyf and still keeping up counterspell. So it's not going to be that long until I kind of have to force the issue. I'll go for another sewers. Something like Hardcast Grief would be quite nice. I think I have to take this push. And I think I'm supposed to play Polluted Delta and use Fel the Profane as a removal spell. Stuff like Orcish Bowmasters would be nice, so I can play on my opponent's turn. But other than that, I think I have to go like back to back to back Haymaker. And at this point, the frog might not even count as a Haymaker because my opponent has had so much time to find removal. No land pass. I will go and get my Watery Grave here. Draw. Another land. Yeah, I think I just need to draw like a combination of Bowmasters, Grief, One Rings, Necro, Sheoldred, and just draw better than my opponent, even though it's not really the best plan. Here's a third Watery Grave. Yeah, my opponent's deck looks cool. When games go like this, I would much rather be on the counterspell side of the table. What can we draw? We can draw One Ring. If I play that, gets countered. What if I just play a frog? Maybe it's time to play a frog now. If it gets countered, I'm happy. But I suspect it gets fatal pushed. Snared. Okay. Spell snares at 2 of in my opponent's deck? Yeah. Very strong against frog. Here's a Bowmaster. Also a problem. Big problem. I needed to draw that card. So do I fatal push the Bowmaster? I think I do. Also, my opponent has 4 Drown in the Lock and 4 counter spells in the deck, so yeah, I don't like my odds here. So because of the context of my deck being a Necro and One Ring deck, my opponent decides to fight over the Bowmasters. That makes a lot of sense. Because now the One Ring doesn't do anything. Necro doesn't do anything. This card is not the best with low life total. Yeah, my opponent's been controlling this game from the get-go. It was not the hand I wanted to see. I had to make like a bad grief to not just lose straight up to the Murktide, because at the time I didn't know that I could get to 4 mana. So yeah, not the best run out here for me. Not the best run out. My opponent goes for probably Swamp. So now they can go Unearth. It's not Unearth. It's probably Escape. Escape, Nethergoyf, while holding a counterspell. Oh, Drown in the Lock. Okay. Yep, that works. My opponent's chipping away here. I don't see how I win this game. Must be something with, like, back-to-back Sheoldred, maybe? Sheoldred, get countered, pass. And draw one more. Five. Nethergoyf from hand. No Nethergoyf from graveyard. Four or more card types among them. So land, instant, sorcery, artifact, for instance. Okay. I think the wondering, what does that lead to? Let's find out. Okay. Pretty solid beating there, game one. I think I like Duress. Maybe mainly because I need to either go like turn one discard, turn two frog, and ride that card, the other way for Necro, the other way for Sheoldred of the Wondering. I think that's like my only way to beat that deck. So definitely want those. Maybe March is not that great. Let's look. And my opponent is playing a lot of creatures, but March not very good against Murktide. It's not very good against Psychic Frog. I know I'm going to shave one copy of that card. Question is, what about the last cut? Could be just another March. I think that's okay. I have some incidental graveyard hate here for the matchup, which is kind of cool. These double-faced swamps are pretty nice for utility. Some hard removal, some yard hate, some protection against removal / grief shenanigans. Also, if I lose round one, I'm gonna start some other games. Probably some Vintage Cube and some Vintage and stuff like that. This tournament works. It's double elimination, so when you have two losses, you're out. So that means, yeah, I want to start some other stuff. So I have an alternative if I lose here. But yeah, plan A is to win and march on. Pretty nice price structure for this tournament. Thank you, Slow. Thank you. Pretty nice price structure for this tournament. I did practice a little bit. I played 2 leagues with this deck, and it was just like the most fun thing to do. Worth noting is that Nadu is banned for this tournament as a, let's call it, gentleman's agreement. This hand is cool. So I have the Must Answer Frog, which is good. I play that turn 2, yes. And then turn 3, I can play one more Frog and hold up Malakir Rebirth, which effectively is like counter your Fatal Push. So yeah, this is fine. Obviously, the opponent is pretty well set up to deal with these frogs, but then I can start drawing my Necros and Rings of the World off the top, and yeah, let's see. This deck has a lot to do with when my opponent doesn't respect Necro or One Ring enough, they can lose 2 of them. And if they respect them too much, they can kind of lose to the rest of the deck. So That's kind of a cool thing to have going on when you're playing. This is basically sometimes just, as you saw last game, like a bad mid-range deck, and then sometimes it's just play Necro, Soul Spike your opponent twice, draw a gazillion cards, or turn one, Grief with Rebirth, take 2 cards from the opponent's hand, the other way for future stuff. So this deck has let's say the draws are very polarized. Let's see. My opponent's ready to play some Magic the Gathering. What matchups are you seeing in Modern? Hard to know what the meta. I need to. What the meta is, like, as deck dumps are still not listed online. Yeah, I mean you can go and find the deck lists. And otherwise you can follow Fire Shoes on Twitter. So I mean, Nadu's banned. So metagame of Energy, Necro, Eldrazi, maybe some Through the Breach, some fair blue decks like what I'm playing against now, and Murktide, like Is It Murktide type stuff. So hopefully just a lot of interactive games. As you can see, I build my sideboard to basically beat non-interactive stuff. Like I want to blow up your Tron land. I'm not gonna let you storm off against me. I want to interact with the graveyard. So I think Modern without Nadu is cool. I also think it's cool with Nadu, but that card doesn't really, I don't like it for coverage purposes. Like when you're doing content and stuff, it's a lot of like game pieces, it's a lot of clicking, it's a lot of incremental advantage that's not really entertaining at all. But yeah, for some maybe it's like the most fun thing in the world, so who knows. My opponent's so much in the driver's seat that they decided why not cook some dinner, call their mom, do all of that stuff, and then just come back and crush me. But yeah, I think it's interesting with the deck dumps. Yeah, that's good. I can take it. I can take all the trolling in the world. I'm of the opinion that you have 25 minutes. You can do whatever you want with those 25 minutes. If you win with 20 minutes left or 20 seconds left, it's the same. So it's mainly to build some banter. I don't care. But about the deck lists in general, they went back to publishing only top 32 from challenges and also like bigger events, top 32 only, and then only what they say a select number of 5-0s every day. So that used to mean, let's say, 3 or 4 people 5-0s with the same stock list, basically. Then they'll only publish one of them. So they must have like some idea that um, it's better for the game. It's like it's tough to argue because how can less information be better? But there's a lot of like negativity around when people see huge numbers of percentages. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Let's see. I'll just await the ruling and we move on. So there's either going to be like a match loss for timing out, or we're going to start over. Let's see. I'm very curious about this. The MTGO team, has like pretty firm thoughts when it comes to integrity instead and stuff like that. I'll see if I can find this. So, which game did I just play? I played this. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm playing this deck. It's tough to when you don't play Modern regularly. It's tough to predict like what does Nadu mean for the format. So I just picked something that I thought would be fun to play. Hiding information has never worked. It just paints wrong pictures and skews data negatively. Yes, I agree. It skews the data, but maybe it's good for the, let's say, negativity revolving the game. A lot of people are having a hard time. A lot of people are having a hard time, like navigating perfect information. So whenever I go on Twitter, it's yeah, it's a lot of bad stuff. But yeah, I also prefer the full data amount. I'm just saying not everybody can take it. We're going to restart it. Looks like we're gonna have a restart in our match, and that's good. Get to play some Magic. So the fix is we restart the match. I concede game one, we sideboard, and we play on. I should go on a big rant about, yeah, but I had the perfect hand. I had this and that. I always read that on Twitter as well. It's funny because you could have had like a crappy hand and then it was a gift from heaven, but you don't hear people mentioning that. That's kind of funny. So maybe Maria disconnected. Nope. Challenge, Necro Frog, tournament practice, allow watchers. Oh, declined the challenge. By the way, if you like Magic Online, you should look out for all the sweet giveaways that are available every month. All Magic Online creators get some playpoint codes that we can use however we see fit. I usually like to make some interesting tweet about, I think my latest one was, what's your short-term goal and long-term goal? So somebody's just, approaching it with humor. Some are being very serious. I enjoy both. I enjoy the fun stuff and the serious stuff as well. And somebody just goes like full on raffle style, and then just pick a random winner. But at the end of the day, free play points are free, so definitely go and check that out and see if you can get a free draft or free constructed league, whatever you like to do most. Yeah, so I'm going to concede game 1, board out 2 marchers for 2 dresses, and then yeah, hope for some 1-2 punches. And this MTGO Creator Showdown is a monthly tournament where MTGO creators battle it out in different formats. Everything is streamed from all players' POVs. And on the Magic Online Twitch channel is like the main feed where they cover feature matches from round 3 and forward. Last month, I was fortunate to do the Pauper Showdown with Will Hole. It was pretty awesome. We had some experts, some Hall of Famers, some grinders who'd never tried Pauper before, and yeah, that was a good one. My favorite play was in the finals, and El Gran Boa, a French streamer, so we played with open deck lists. So there was just some bluff going on where, I believe, yeah, he played Affinity, so he kept up mana and was kind of faking the one-up negate. And as a result, Gabriel Nassif did not fire off the Dust to Dust. It would have been game over. So that like bluffing game bought the Boa a lot of time, and he ended up winning, which was amazing. So when I saw him at the PT, I said, "Yeah, I covered that tournament. That was like a masterful bluff." And yeah, he was like, I didn't have any other plays." Well, he did. He could have played like some random crap out, but he didn't. He passed the turn with the blue and colorless up, so he earned that one for sure. It goes a lot. It goes a long way when you know what does open deck list mean for the tournament, right? Because yeah, you pull off a stunt like that against good players, it's going to work more often than not. If you do it against like a player who's not aware, who's hasn't got that much experience, they just jam the Dust to Dust and win the game. So yeah, I enjoyed that. All right, let's see. Challenge. Frog. Tournament practice. Allow watchers. 25 minutes. Okay, we try again. So let's sideboard. Couple of dresses for a couple of those. And here we go. All right, down a game here. Currently playing the MTGO Creator Showdown Modern 5K, brought to you by Magic Online. My favorite video game, and it's not close. So let's see what Maria can do with her list after sideboard. I don't remember much, if anything. And I only had like small upgrades, so yeah, let's see. Ooh, I have a better hand now, so the restart was good for me. We have to remember that. So I wonder which card I pitch. It's probably the Fell, because 4 mana is a lot. Pitch the fill. No subtlety. That's important. So pick it. Oh, there was a subtlety, but my opponent didn't want to do that. Okay. So let's see. Which 2 cards do I want to take? It also looks like maybe just the 2 counters. I think that's good. Take counterspell. Maybe I fetch Swamp the first time around. Yeah, that should be good. Evoke. Return. Take Drown. My opponent plays another Goy. I attack. Duress. No, now. Oh, maybe I made a mistake here because my Duress might fizzle now. Magic's too hard. Too hard of a game. Now the Goy is a 2/3. Bobble. My opponent activates Bobble now because I play Bowmasters. My opponent's found a draw step and a Bobble draw before I Duress. Okay, so Inquisition. Is that better than Duress? I'm trying to figure out if Duress hits anything that Inquisition doesn't. Looks like they hit the same cards. They hit the same cards. I should Duress. Nah, no, I shouldn't, because my opponent could have a Psychic Frog, Bowmasters, etc. Okay, guess we fire off Inquisition and see the news here. Okay, so I can take Psychic Frog, then fetch Watergrave. Yeah, I should do that. And rest the push. Because with Polluted Delta, that push kills Grief. Watergrave. Duress. Take the push. Attack for 3. My opponent's attacking for 4, and then I kill the Nethergoyf. Yeah, this is not like ideal at all, but yeah, I just think this is a tough matchup. Because my opponent actually does a good job of both pressuring my life total and can hold up counters. Looks like a good choice and fun to play. Here's Polluted Delta that we knew about. Opponent has Subtlety and 1 Unknown in hand. Here's Preordain. Okay. Let's see. Does my opponent play Island? My opponent does play Island. I think I like... it's close with 3 Fatal Pushes in the deck and Revolt looking to be relevant. Okay, that's close. Usually the go-to logic is you wanna fetch first. First of all, to thin the deck. Second of all, if you like both cards, you don't have to wait to unload the next card. My opponent decides that having easy Revolt for later is better. 5 damage here. That's fun. I'm at 9. Another one? That would be disastrous. Fatal Push. Good call. Good call. Oh, I know about the subtlety. I don't want Inquisition here. So I just kill this before my opponent untaps and draws a counterspell. If my opponent draws a land, I'm in big trouble. Then I'm heading to the loser bracket. This is a bad spot because my opponent doesn't have that many uncastables. Maybe I have to cast Inquisition now, even though it's quite terrible. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Let's wait one turn. The only argument for casting Inquisition now is if I go take the counterspell or drown in the lock out of the opponent's hand, surveil land into something like, I don't know, Necro maybe? Or Psychic Frog? No, Psychic, I guess, yeah, Psychic Frog doesn't count. I can Inquisition and Psychic Frog on the same turn. Yeah, it's mainly for Necro purposes. This looks like a Murktide Regent. No, it's not. Okay, another Goyf. 5/6 for 1 mana. That's a good card. Go to 8. Here's a Bowmaster, which is good. I'll keep that card. So now it's, because I found a 2-drop, it was good to wait with Inquisition. My opponent could have, like, Snare or whatever here. Drown in the lock. Sure. Feel like, should I take the damage here? Should I let my opponent draw? Probably not. I'm in a terrible spot here. I have to chump block very soon, and whenever my opponent finds a 3rd land, another Nethergorf joins the party. And if they don't draw that, they draw Spell. All of which are castable. And if it's a random blue, it can... I don't even know if there is any random blue uncastable here. Should I go to 3? I'll try and go to 3 life here, see what happens. Tough times indeed. Tough times indeed. Let's see. How do we lose? Okay, so my opponent passed. I think I'm supposed to play this 3-1 out before attacking. If this gets counter or, you know, subtlety, I want to know about it, right? Let's think a little bit here. The opponent let that resolve. What could that be in my opponent's hand? If they played a land, they would have got another Nethergoyf. This looks like my opponent either has Orcish Bowmasters. Maybe no second subtlety. My opponent would have gone for it. I don't think it's a blue card. If it was a blue card like Pierce, I feel like my opponent would also have, or Snare, I feel like my opponent would also have, you know, put this card on top. Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't think I'm winning if I'm staying back here, so I'm gonna attack here. I think my opponent's last card is Bowmasters, but I don't think I win the game if I stay back. There's simply too much time. So now the opponent can go cast Bowmasters, kill Trawler, block with their Bowmasters on my Bowmasters to get a type in the yard. Yeah. It couldn't be anything else, unfortunately. So I had to hope my opponent played poorly. So now I need my opponent to draw brick, or I'm dead. Okay, that's not a brick. Okay, we got destroyed here. That's what happens. 0-1 start. Not ideal. Gonna be a very long day if I'm gonna do well in this tournament. My deck didn't really do, like, that's the thing. My opponent's deck is always going to do the same, and this deck is going to try and have some good draws. And yeah, not this time. So let me just report the result. All right. Yeah, those were pretty representative games, I would say. Let's see what I'm working on here. Vintage. Mono white. Initiative. It's a good deck for, double queuing and stuff. So let's join that. Mono white. Yes. Let's quickly check. I just changed the list a few hours ago. Yeah, it looks good. All right. All right. We can do a little vintage cube draft while we wait. It should be a good 20-minute situation. Isn't your best draw Necrodominance? Going to 3 kind of nullifies that draw. Yeah, that's a very good point. That the context of me having Necro in my deck makes that a better block than usual. That's true. I don't mind that. That sounds like a good play. Ooh. Nope, no power, but we like reanimate. Reanimate can do so much. Yeah, I'm just trying to find the page so I don't miss like the next pairings. Okay, I got it. Okay, so let's see. What are we passing on here? Passing on Noble, Negation, Retrofitter, I guess. Let's see if this is going to be an easy draft or hard draft. Okay. Second pick Mana Crypt. It could be a good day at the office. So funnily enough, Reanimate and Mana Crypt, they don't necessarily go insanely well together, but they're incredibly strong individually, so no worries. Fable is awesome. Delta is awesome. Oculus Coupler is awesome. Prismatic Vista is awesome. Yeah, that pack was just absurd in general. This is a real pack. You can argue staying on color with Toxic is viable, but that's a lot of life loss. I don't necessarily want my third life loss card already. Dismember is also a life loss card, but it's at least flexible. Then we have something like Shelldock, which would make me blue, basically. Or maybe it's just Recurring Nightmare. Sometimes, even though this card is not like absurd, it's just good to take like the reanimation out of the pack, so to speak. Okay, this is kind of funny. So I don't even know what the best card is. It's probably like Volcanic Island. We could take the Stitcher Supplier and try and do some Hogak things. I don't think that would be insane. It would also be fun. Picking that over, I don't know, Unearth maybe. Okay, we can try the Stitcher. Pretty late Lelia, like fifth pick Lelia, a good one. City of Traders is good, but yeah, red black is a good color combination, and Lelia is the best card, so let's go for it. All right. Blue black fair deck. That got me good. Okay, so I just saw the Scarlet. I love Scarlet, but this is gonna be Badlands. Duels, so premium. I can cast my stuff. I like my chances in general. I also like Knight's Whisper, so but that's like a third in this pack, I feel like. Primus, I think it's too early to take like speculative non-tier 1 bombs. I don't think that's the way to play. Let's see how red we're going to be. We passed on Fable, passed on Unholy Heat. So those cards are definitely not going to wheel. Recurring Nightmare. It's been a long time since I've had that card. Looks like a lot of the results, maybe like 80% are in. That's cool. So hopefully it's good timing that this draft finishes and then we have a little bit of vintage and modern at the same time. That's fine. Preacher, or trumpeting Carnosaur. So the thing about this card is you can discard it to deal 3, then you can bring it back and get the discover. Maybe it's better. Yeah. Let's take that. I like Preacher though. Preacher's like the solid card, and this is the upside. Survival. Bonehard. So Parallax Wave is by far the best card in this pack. Parallax Wave. Way too late here. How can we get into a deck that casts Parallax Wave? Let's see. 8th pick Parallax Wave is absurd. Okay, what did we wheel here? I like the Channeler, but the red might be some splash going on. Maybe I take the Virtue. I'll take Virtue. Wow, Smuggler's Copter here is very, very good. It even has synergy with the discard stuff. This card is easily the best card in the pack. Am I just going Boros here? Can that be? Can it be? Unholy Heat did wheel, so did the Legionnaire. I mean, you could argue these 3 black cards aren't great, and I should be playing red, because that's what the draft is giving me. Okay. Let's take Unholy Heat here. Here's Umanu, faces Kakazan, very tough name. Double white is gonna be fine, I feel like. Double red. Yeah, I mean, I might play it. Expedition map, I highly doubt it. So we don't have to splash this reanimate, it's just an option. Sheldred here, the best card in the pack. What's the next best card? It's maybe like a Johnny. I like this card. It's like 2 bodies for 2 mana. Can do some stuff. I don't mind taking a Johnny here. Maybe we can wield the Palantir. I really want to work on my mana though. With Boros, you have to work on your mana. Ooh, Inti is a prime rib. I was about to say it's a prime 2-drop. Also has discard synergies, but I don't know if that's going to be this for this deck. Thoughtseize, the best card in the pack, but we can't really think about that. I feel like we should probably take Aven Interrupter. Could have had Sheldred and Thoughtseize, but this Parallax Wave kind of invited me in another direction. Ooh, here's Scalding Tarn. Yeah, let's take Scalding Tarn. It's gonna pair well with the duels I'm looking for anyway. I'm taking it over, I guess, Godless Shrine. Land is very good. Flame Slash is very good. Is this time to make our cards castable? Maybe this is a good pick. Turned around. I lost O2. Okay, everything's good over here. Figure of Destiny. Pretty good card. You can pump it with both plains and mountains, so it's just ideal for this deck. I love the 1-drops. Esper Sentinel is good as well. So I might splash this Reanimate. Let's see. Ooh, this is not the best. I guess I'll take Adeline. I love that card, but this deck is going to have so many good 3s. But this is one of the best ones, so I guess we can take it. I like the sign about Parallax Wave was a good one. I think I'll end up with a good deck, but I really need to work on my mana. Right now I have 2 black sources for the Reanimate, but that's not, like, my main focus is being able to cast these double red, double white cards. Red 1-drops, white 1-drops, etc. That's what I mean with good mana. The Reanimate is just, icing on the cake. So do I want a white 1-drop or Bone Crusher Giant? I feel like this white 1-drop is decent. Let's see, how much removal do I have? I don't have that much. Okay, we can take the Crusher. It's always interesting to build these decks because, to be honest, I prefer like as many 1-drops as possible, but that's not really a thing right now in the queue. So you kind of have to go for these aggressive decks with, decent late game. Okay, I did wield a Palantir. Is Fire Blast better? Fire Blast looks a bit iffy with what I have going on right now. Maybe we can sideboard the Interrupter. Okay, I guess we take the Palantir. We just have Mana Crypt in our opener every time, and it's going to be fine. Ooh. Funnily enough. And I go to some buy and sell group, and the first thing I get suggested is something with Mana Crypt. Oh, can we cast a Scholar? Probably not. Yeah, realistically, these cards are not making the deck. I am committed to the Boros life. Let's take this Pyrokinesis. It's like Poor Man's Fury is actually still a good card, surprisingly enough. Pyromancer, I don't think I'm gonna play it. Ideally, I don't have a lot of double, mana, double mana cards. Plateau, Sacred Foundry. That kind of stuff we really need for next pack. I like this Surfer, actually. The more fetches, the better. Round 2. Round 2 is here. Let's see. Current round. Playing against Anurag Das. Nice. Need to find out what deck Anurag is on. And then I need to pick a Moxjet. Nice. Okay. So Anurag is playing basically blue-white control with some rainbow mana base for leyline binding. See, this is correct. Psychic Frog. I love that card. Yeah, okay. I missed the Sacred Foundry at first. It's gonna be Chain Lightning here. That Chain Lightning to the deck. Hmm. This pack is not the best. I mean, Chandra is a magic card, but I'm not excited to take it. Oof, these control decks look tough to play against. But I guess I would rather play against this kind of control than the other one, where my life total is under pressure. Challenge. Boom. Come on, buddy. Okay, I guess one challenge is enough. Ideally, I get some more ones in here. Or I just draw the acceleration every time. I'll also accept that. Burst Lightning versus Parchment, or I guess. Maybe it's Burst Lightning. I feel like we can fill out with random creatures quite easily. Declined my challenge. Hmm. This looks like a braid. So this deck is not insane or anything, but it does have double power. Let's see, how does this collect constructed rather? Modern. Tournament practice. Necrofrog. Here we go. Nice. I was happy with the Caracas, but Forthilingus is the single best card we can ever dream of seeing here. Some guy joined the game. Nice. Take the Fireball. Unsure if I play that card, though. Now I think it's time to take a random dork. Another random dork. That's actually good. Especially it's good with the Queen Copter. Wheeling Chain Lightning, Wheeling Psychic Frog. It's respectful. Let's see, 27 minus... Yeah, I need like one more playable. Otherwise, I'm going to play some bad card from the sideboard, but that's okay. Tribal Flames is not a good... This is not a good Tribal Flames deck. And play these. Okay. So this hand has turn 1 Vexing Bauble, even 2 Vexing Baubles. So if I get forced, I can play another. That's kind of cool. All right. Okay. So we can just leave the cube deck. Doesn't really matter here. Yeah, pretty easy keep. Let's see what this opponent has been cooking. Miharu Uyumiya. Okay, so looks like they're back to their old tricks, which is Oath of Druids. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. I did. Buddies only? So I think because my opponent can force a will this bauble, I should go Ancient Tomb. So I can play another. And now my opponent can't cast Mox, which is good for me. I can play one more, that's fine. Create 25. Ooh, my opponent's on Jewel. That's not bad. The opponent goes turn one bauble, you go turn one ring. That's not bad. So what can I do here? Strip Mine is a good one. Unclear how much it helps when my opponent has one ring going. Hmm. Hey, I'm supposed to crack a bauble there. Ah. Modern tournament practice. Create 25. Allow watchers. Only buddies. 2 players. The Jewel will just smoke me here. All right, let's see. Finally, it worked. That is fine. My opponent has a companion. So I can turn one Grief. I'm not really sure I should. Especially now. I can double Grief next turn. Okay. That was not nice of my vintage opponent to go turn one ring through a bauble. Not nice. Okay, so check Rock's list. Subtlety. I guess I pitch a Bowmasters in this situation. So I can take maybe Counterspell and 3. Maybe I go for a Surveil land here, actually. Excuse me. Mystic Fur. I'm basically looking to find... Yeah, I'm basically looking to find Archon. Vexing Bauble. Yes. So cycle 1 Bauble here. Archon. Okay, that card is not bad. Feel like I should. Okay, that's definitely strong as well. I feel like I should like get going here. Play Strip Mine. Play Dungeoneer. The reason why I play Dungeoneer is that if my opponent has like a Metamorph, I can still attack through it. Pass. This is all I can do. Pressure my opponent. I'll get second Sewers here. Okay, my opponent milled over. Opponent milled over Supreme Verdict. Interesting. So at this point, I'm trying to, just get my opponent dead as fast as possible and hope that it's tough to combo through a Vexing Bauble. I can Forge onto my Dungeoneer next turn, attack for 5 or 6. Then I can play White Plume uncounterable and advance the initiative. And then maybe the One Ring is lethal. Let's see. Oh, I clicked the wrong card. My opponent has a Narset in hand. Sewers, land. I don't think I want that land. Attack, play Frog. Then if my opponent plays Narset, I can kill Narset and still draw cards. That's good. Frog, tap land. Versus Saga is a beatable magic card unless it's followed by a Time Walk. Ooh, is this Dual Time Walk? The good old play. Yeah, could look like it, unfortunately. Dual Time Walk. Here's Sagoth Triumph, which makes Leyline Binding a 2-drop. This is Prismatic Ending. Okay, Prismatic Ending on the Frog. That's what happens. So now next turn, my opponent can actually Wrath of the Skies away the next Frog, which is annoying. I feel like I should play this as a land and step the Bowmasters. I think that's about right. Let's see, my opponent had to pass here. He can put counters on Dungeoneer. Okay, I see. My opponent has the 3-mana land spell thing. Okay, I mean, can't do anything about that, so I'll try and attack. Okay, so that one is returned. That trigger failed. So now let's see. I think I have to play Dungeoneer out once more. Strip the Saga. Drain my opponent for 5. My opponent's at 7. They go to 4. Okay. My opponent now has 1 mana Leyline Binding available. Opponent's at 9. Here's the One Ring. Interesting. Yeah, I let that happen. One Ring was a good one. Mm-hmm. When I draw an extra card, I draw Grief that doesn't do anything. I have to pass. Opponent's at 8. Trying to put my opponent to 5 here. Let's see if it happens. My opponent can Wrath. Oh, okay, Solitude. That's annoying. Wrath is gone. Fine, fine, fine. Let's see. My opponent has a gazillion cards here. They need to get rid of the ring. They need to get rid of this one, or like win around it. No zeros can be cast. Well, no zeros can resolve. Let's see what Anurag can find here. Land Wrath of the Skies will clear the small creatures. I'll still have Grief. My opponent's losing 2 life here, and I can cast another Grief. So this is going to be a close one, I feel like. Here's Minimo and the Sweeper, or another ring, I guess. That's just the standard play here. Okay, Wrath for 2. That works. So I put my opponent to 4, then 2. Here's Subtlety. Where do I want this card? Probably away. Put it on the bottom. Back with Grief. My opponent managed to get rid of both baubles. Okay, so now I'm just dead. That happens. It's nice that your double faced blue source and blue card can also deal with hate pieces. Opponent draws 3 cards. If they find another One Ring, I'm in deep trouble, to say the least. My opponent's kind of going off with Jewel here, so we don't have to pay too much attention to that one. Let's see what good old Control Mage Anurag Das can do here. My opponent needs to clear the One Ring, gain life, or find 2 blockers or a removal spell. So a lot of stuff. Nice time walk. I think it's a cool tool for legacy, and I don't think it does a lot of good things for vintage. Vintage kind of has the problem that sometimes we get non-games where it's just like Ancestral Recall this, Force of Will that, Tinker this, Tinker that. So I think a card like Bauble just leads to more, die roll being important. I don't necessarily enjoy that. I would rather print cards that would make the die roll, less important instead of more important. So in general, I also know why the card was. I know what the card was made to do, and nobody thought about Legacy or Vintage. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Then there are cards like, I don't know. I think Lavinia was a comparable card as well, but this card can be played out of any deck. And just a lot of hands, you have to force a will a 1-drop. I don't necessarily like that. I don't like my 1-drops to be, force a will type cards. Let's see. Looks like we are untapping the ring, going for 4 more cards, which is not that good for me. So my opponent needs to go like fetch land or basic land, legend rule away the old ring, or some. Let's see, what else are we working with? 2 copies of Teferi, 1 in the yard already. Leyline Binding, is that an opponent controls? Yep, you can't do that. Yeah, not that much stuff aside from fetch basic, cast the 1 ring. That's like the most normal way to do this. Hira in hand, fetch. Leyline Binding my grief, and then do what on the next upkeep? So yeah, let's see. I put grief on the bottom. Could have cast the grief here, or whatever that's worth. Boom! Exile your graveyard. So now my opponent needs to what exactly? Something like draw a million. Yeah, I don't even know. I thought it was something like pitch subtlety, pitch solitude enough times to survive. If only I had revolt, I would be a champ. I understand that much. So now my opponent can gain 3 with pitch solitude or hardcast, whatever. But they need to do that again, like solitude on the solitude. Vintage opponent is going off. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good timing. Okay, that card is gone. My opponent's at 4, so now my opponent needs 1 more solitude on that one to go to 7 and go to 2. And I kind of feel like my opponent has to repeat this. Or maybe, okay. So pitch another solitude. Kill that one. Go to 7, survive. Draw more, play 1 ring. Okay, my opponent's got this. That's cool. Well played. This is cool magic. I love that. Magic is a darn cool game when you can do stuff like that. Go just pitch elementals out of nowhere to survive at 2 life. Then draw a gazillion more cards, then play another 1 ring. Solid beating today. This is kind of funny. My opponent just played this game for 8 minutes, or this turn rather. Okay, now my opponent has infinite turns. Maybe I can get a little bit of info from their Karn sideboard. There's a fresh One Ring. Nice. Necro Dominante. I don't know how many negations Anurag is playing. 1 force negation. Did he find it? Did Anurag find it? Nope. No attack here. Let's see. How many cards should I draw with Necro? 20. I don't have a clue about that. Maybe if I draw 8. I'll try and draw 8. These cards are horrible. Straight up horrible. Definitely not that. Definitely not that. Definitely not that. Maybe like this. This should be fine. Opponent make some clones here, time walk in the bank, etc. And they even go to the Throne of the Dead 3, which is funny. So right now, Anurag has to worry about, well, I say worry, I don't really mean that. Right now he has to think a little bit about Soul Spike being lethal. Yeah, no info here. We've seen this deck before. I wonder how many Sink It to Stupor. I think I could fit like 2 or 3 when I played the deck. Lots of triggers here for the opponent. Protection from creatures. Protection from creatures. So let's see. Now I can't draw cards because of Narset, which is annoying. Let's cast this Inquisition to hopefully clear some counters. I have triple discard here, so that's not nothing. I am locked, though. Yeah, I don't think I can win this. Counter spell. Am I supposed to go land Grief? Probably. Go to 6. Play Grief. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think I'm just locked out of that game. Let's see. Boom. Oh, I can't block. My bad. Okay. We're down a game here in Vintage. Null Rod is absurd against that deck for obvious reasons. That deck is just full of that stuff. What are we looking to remove here? Maybe something like single enchanter. Like trimming. March is good against versus Saga specifically. There's also a case that I should sideboard out like a Chrome and a Petal maybe and keep these because I have more turn 1 plays with Null Rod and keep Chancellor in as well. Peacekeeper maybe. I think this is okay. Maybe it's like this. Yeah, let's try that. I mean, yeah, I got double countered. Let's see if my opponent has the removal. They have the second binding. Okay, so now I'm thinking I'm almost locked out of this game. I don't know. Let's see. Because I can't draw with the Necro. I don't draw on my draw step. Kind of funny. All right. Let's see. So I have turn 1. These are lands, which is very important to think about. I have turn 1 Vexing Bauble with turn 2 Null Rod or White Plume, depending on how things develop. That's not bad. I'm bad against Ursa Saga as they stand, but I think that's the name of the game. There's Teferi. Inquisition. And I'm going to play the dangerous 3-1. Boom. Exile that graveyard, baby. I'm going to keep 7 here. This could be a tough one. Let's see. Play Vexing Bauble. Play tapped white. So I get forced here, which I can't do anything about. I don't have the ability to go Null Rod. I obviously would if I could. Okay, that does it. Now I'm locked out of the game. So against control, I think I only have the 2 duresses, which is unfortunate. Here's Grim Monolith. Hopefully it's a pass. One ring is fine. Now I can Null Rod. Chrome Mox, is that a good draw? It's not, right? Yeah, I have to Null Rod this turn. The Chrome Mox is just horrible. Rod. The opponent draws a card in response. Tries to find a force. Does not happen. I play that, and then I'm 1 land worth, very important, not mana source, but 1 land away from doing stuff. Opponent has to pass. Landis. Not a land. Yeah, now we kind of have this standoff where I'm favored, but it's not by that much. Unfortunately. Here's here's what I needed. I think I'm supposed to play this because it hits hardest. White Plume, search up, good old plains, pass. The next turn I can start. Now Metamorph is kind of an issue, but I think it's okay because I can play another White Plume to grow my White Plume in attack. That's annoying for the opponent. Okay, so Vexing Bauble, demanding a Force Will here, won the game. Follow up with Null Rod. That's just good, like, to clear the way for Null Rod is just awesome. So on the draw, things change a bit, which is it's just kind of funny. I mean, I think I still like a couple of baubles, but I like my acceleration more because more hands will depend on my ability to go like fast. I don't know, Archon Peacekeeper. Being on the draw here with not playing a Force of Will deck. I play Zero Mindbreak Traps, etc. So much bad things can happen. If my opponent has a Goldfish hand, I lose. If my opponent has like Force of Will in turn 2, I lose a lot of the time at least. There's some stuff like Chancellor and Cavern that can mess up that math. Double Chancellor with 2 lands. Yeah, I mean, we keep this. Then maybe the Chancellor eating some kind of a Mox or whatever can do something. Really don't hope my opponent goes Urza Saga, but if they do, I have to Wasteland it. Another, yeah. So I got to eat a Mox here by just revealing the Chancellors. That's fine, right? I really want to draw Mox here. That is 4 mana turn 1. We have kind of seen that before. That's not anything new on Monolith. 5 mana. Is it Masticore? Okay, turn 1 Masticore. I love that. Sick. So, my opponent kind of needs to keep that alive. Yeah, I mean, let's just see. So worth noting is if they don't, like if the discard is 0, they can't destroy anything aside from Mox. Let's keep this. I've turned 1. Wow, I forgot about the pushes. Because of last match, that was actually not real control. That's terrible. I have 3 more fatal pushes in my deck that are horrible. Ooh, very bad play. So worth noting is there's some dynamic here. Yeah, my opponent is not interested in that dynamic. And this only helps if the creature dies. So grief is gone. Take the Lorne revealed. Sure. And pass. We have turn 2 Psychic Frog. Huh. So now I draw a Petal. I'm going to discard a Time Walk. I don't think it makes any sense. Does it make sense for me to get the initiative? If I go land, Petal, initiative, my opponent kills it, takes the initiative. No, that sucks. Sorry. And this is my answer from Masticore. If I play Null Rod, Petal is not... doesn't help me cast the 4-drop. Yeah, I think I have to just pass. Now I'm going to fetch Watergrave, play Psychic Frog. Force of Will hits the bin. Yeah, the thing about Masticore is it doesn't help me to play out any stuff, right? There's Wasteland. So unless my opponent has Force of Will blue card, I can stabilize here. So that's what I should try and do. Is there any 1-2 punch that makes sense at all? I don't think so. I could go like land, Archon, take 5 more damage. But that's 1 more turn for my opponent to find like Metamorph. I think that's bad. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. I mean, my opponent just discarded Force of Will, so I'm not very optimistic about this play, but yeah, I'm not optimistic about passing the turn either, so interesting. So now my opponent kind of has to do something like now, or they're gonna get run over by all sorts of stuff. Interesting. Okay, so Psychic Frog ends up connecting in my modern game. I could grief my opponent twice. Let's see when I draw the extra card. Griefing my opponent twice here is probably not very strong. One ring, that's good. So maybe if I just maybe I do that. Maybe I grief twice. Grief twice, play land, hold the one ring. Okay. Do I want my just let's just do this. I think it's fine. Take nothing, play land. And I have 2 draws to hit my 4. My opponent had to pass here. That's not good news for the opponent. Let's see. Null Rod, probably. And Wasteland, I feel like. No, then I can't cast 3-drop next turn. Oh, wait. I can do good things here. Oh, nice. Okay. This is nice. I go for planes, then I go land, Mox, Null Rod. Sometimes thinking a little bit about your plays will improve the quality of life. Null Rochki. Attack for dos. Double Wasteland in play. Good setup. My opponent did not put Companion into hand. What does that tell us? No Companion. Nice Fatal Push. Necrodominante. Get countered. You got it. Pass. Untap a creature. Let my opponent go to town here. Yeah. I'm not sure why this Parcel was discarded, but we won a game, or a match rather, so that's cool. Companion is in Anorok's hand. Let's fetch before. I could draw into another Fatal Push. Let's attack for 5. I actually like this because of Narset. Nice draw. Doesn't really do anything. It does something against Supreme Verdict in 2 turns. Is it better to play it out now? Oh, I already played a land. Never mind. Never mind. I lose a life point. Nice duress. Is duress a nice play? Here's a good old Solitude. Draw. Soul Spike. Soul Spike, eh? When I said 6, I have a Soul Spike and a Menace creature. I think I'm supposed to play this out. Narset is a good one. That would be the reason to find another solution than what I did, and having either another black card available or this one. Okay. So I guess I had the rest of that? Yeah. Draw 3. The rest. Counterspell. Grief. Let's just take the negation, I guess. Fine. Drain my opponent to 2. Pass. Okay. So let's play a little bit better than having Fatal Push against the control deck. I mean, these graveyard cards don't do anything, but they're better. Opponent's up to 3 Narcissets after sideboard. Narcissist is a very annoying card. I think I just take these 2 for cantrips. Yep. All right, let's see. Game 3, elimination on the line. If I lose, I'm out. If I win, I get to keep playing. This is a cool tournament. I really like this tournament. Creator Showdown. I think next month is going to be... Oh, yeah, let's get this one out of here. I think next month is going to be either... Yeah, I think it's going to be limited, but I'm not sure. Anyway, my point is, can't always be your favorite format, right? But I'm sure it'll be Legacy or Vintage at some point. Just can you imagine a 64-player Vintage Cube draft? That would be the dream. That would be the dream. What we have here? Turn 3 Necro, with not much leading up to that point. I guess I keep and I draw some good cards from top of my deck. You know, like Grief. So last time I played Swamp Out first, which I think is correct. But I'm actually gonna like trying to level my opponent a little bit here with Burton. It's like if my opponent goes for either subtlety or solitude here, it's slightly better because I can go get Surveil Land. And if I get to do my thing, I guess I'm just happy mainly. Okay. I mean, these prismatic endings aren't the best, so I can go take the 2 others. Take Binding, take Verdict. So now I want my Grief to chip away at my opponent's life total while I kind of stress them a little bit with turn 3 Necro, turn 4 Sheoldred. So let's say Necro gets to draw me, I don't know, 6, 7 cards, and he gets Prismatic Ending. That's not the end of the world at all. We knew about that breeding pool. Do I play Troller or this? I feel like I played that one out. The Grief is going to keep doing its thing here. Best card here would be something like Narset Pass. Okay, my opponent does not put Companion in hand, which can mean some stuff, I guess. So what I could do here is go Psychic Frog, but that doesn't make much sense. Then my opponent can just, kill it with Prismatic Ending. I'm actually going to go for the big guns here. Let's see if my opponent has anything. They don't. The bluff. The bluff. Maybe draw 7 cards. No Soul Spike. So we can discard. So the interesting part is my opponent knows he's not getting Soul Spike. Let's see. Go. Like, these are good and all, but maybe I just discard a frog. So let's see. I keep land, Sheldred, frog. Which card that I don't want? Maybe it's just the Inquisition. See? So now my opponent can kill Necro with Prismatic Ending. Is that a bad situation for me? I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Good question. It's kind of a leveling thing, whether you believe your opponent will do that or not. So playing Teferi out to gain a little bit of life here, I respect that. I'll try attacking my opponent's life total here. Kind of a tough spot. Gain some life. One ending is gone. So now I can go one frog. I'll just try and go back-to-back Sheldred here and see what happens. So that card dies to Prismatic Ending. Soul Spike. Very strong. So let's see. I can kill Teferi if I pitch a frog and go Necro. That's probably good. So let's see. Like that. Cast. How does this work? Oh, it's 2. Okay. Necro. Draw. Soul Spike with the Duress Grief, maybe? Soul Spike with Rock Duress. Pass. Narset, good card. Very strong. Now my opponent needs a way to upkeep. Say no to Sheldred. I am playing mono white in Vintage. And my opponent do it. I think I'm dead if they can do it. Alright. Alright. We want a match. Let's report. I'm playing mono white in Vintage because I had a feeling this could be a busy day. Okay, what do we have here? Looks like a great hand. So I can go Uncounterable Dungeoneer against Lurists. That's probably better than Vexing Bubble. Needle. Yeah, now my opponent's going to name Wasteland, and I can blow them out with Witch Enchanter. Life is not fair. Forge. Roll. Play Vexing Bauble. Force a negation. Sure. Human. Oh, that's not the one. Witch Enchanter. Kill Saga. And that's all you're out. On the draw. Trying a bit of info. Alberto as the... Okay, so it's a Psychic Frog deck. But still with Time Balled in it. Not sure what to make of that. I could see like cutting one Bauble, one March, maybe two March. But maybe that's too March. Wrath of the Sky is against that deck. Maybe it's just a Chancellor. The good old Shaving. Shaving is believing. Right, let's see who I'm playing. The Showdown. Turned around. True Hero. Nice. So let's see. Create. True Hero. Everyone likes the hand. I mean, so do I. Not bonkers like the last one. Versus Saga, sure. Pass. Okay, that's not the end of the world. I have a Wasteland here. Very nice draw. feel like I should. Sapphire. Pearl. Pearl gets countered, which is a play I've seen before. Let me put it that way. Vexing Bauble. Wasteland. And then I wasteland my opponent and I have 2 mana post. Yeah, not bad. True Hero, I actually need to see what True Hero is playing. Or color control. Planar Genesis. Oh, okay. I thought it was something else. Okay, 4-color energy control stuff. Here's Psychic Frog. I draw March, which doesn't really do anything right now. I feel like I should cycle this Bauble maybe. If I find a white source, I pitch a card to kill the frog. That is kind of a white source. Turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Bowmasters, turn 3 Bowmasters. Build towards the One Ring. Fair enough. Ren and 6 looks good against this. Swamp even. I'm not a big fan of that. Like Swamp, Ursa Saga, Wasteland, using your land drops on that much non-blue. So I think what I'm supposed to do here is go White Plume, lose the initiative. Yeah, it's not ideal. Cleric. But I do get a Plains out of it. And that Plains can cast March and kill the frog. So, yeah, my only play. I'm going to check if this is a counterspell deck. It is not a counterspell deck. Interesting. Pass. Wooded Foothills. So that's gone. Triome's gone. Question is if I play out the second one. I'm not entirely sure. Wow, Necro. Sick draw. Very, very good draw. I'll just fetch Swamp here. I want to save all the life I can. Necro. Okay, so my opponent did what? Strip mined a cavern on Cleric. Pushed my dude. Okay. So a lot of good stuff happened there for the opponent. Can I do anything smart? Looks like I can. No, I can't. So let's see. I go land, I march. I think that's about it. The next turn I go on Counterable Dungeoneer. Best. Jam mana into it. Kill. Looks like my opponent is gonna go Planar Genesis in response here. Nope. Necro resolved. Oh, Leyline Binding. I forgot about that. Nice. The opponent had 1 mana Leyline Binding before my end step. Good play. Yeah, so with my opponent having developed Time Vault, my opponent getting some selection going here, I'm definitely not out of the woods. Let's attack and play the One Ring. My opponent also has a One Ring, but I think that's just how the cookie crumbles. Here I can take the damage, I feel like. I want to put Companion in hand here. Okay, that's not terrible. So I can go. I should probably take back the initiative. My opponent can go Lurrus, Black Lotus. I don't like that. Hmm. I go Lurrus. Lurrus is then a 5-drop. Maybe that's a good play for this turn. Fatal Push is a good one. That's actually gonna do work. Um, if I name, no, I have to name Lurrus. Lurrus of the Dream Den, and then I Wasteland. So my opponent will get a stash token, but if they don't draw mana source, they can't push and Lurrus. So that's basically what I'm hoping. No idea what happened with my One Ring. Oh, okay, my opponent's still responding. Wow, okay. I thought it was my opponent's One Ring. Draw. Binding. Sure. Last known information, etc., etc. I draw a card. No, I don't. Oh, because it had 0 on it? Okay, that's why. Okay, sick. My opponent pushed and passed. Next turn, my opponent goes. Okay, so I have to take the initiative here. I can go Arc on. Forge. Pass. So what I suppose was I supposed to pass there? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was supposed to pass because now I let my opponent cast second binding and the One Ring, and they would only have So what am I shooting here? Can't shoot my opponent. How does this work? Does this grow out of it, or just do I make a new one? It grows out of it. Okay, that is convenient to know. Do I ring or bow here? Ring or bow? Great question. Here's Lurrus. Black Lotus from the yard is annoying. I can trap my opponent. What I also could do is go force Lurrus to attack. Is that good? I'll try. Okay. You need to attack next turn, buddy. Archon. Land. Pass. Maybe this is not good logic. Am I supposed to trade with Lurrus here? Maybe. I didn't think about that enough. That was a bad play. Graveyard. I'm thinking about what to do here. Opponent goes to 9. If they try and draw, I double Bowmaster. I'll try this. I like that card. I like it so much. I want it in my hand. Opponent has protection. Here's Soul Rend. Okay, so my opponent gets the initiative. Draws a card. Very annoying. Okay, and there's game over. Okay. That was not an easy game to navigate. Not an easy game. I really like Chancellor on the play. I like Bauble on the play. So I guess what is it that we don't like necessarily as much? I feel like you can always trim a March. I like these boys. Maybe we can trim a Mana Source of sorts. Maybe not. Maybe I can keep more hands because of like, you know, plows and stuff that I can cut a Chrome. I mulligan slightly better with that setup as well. One more March? Ah, that's insane. Maybe it's just plow. Maybe plow isn't that good. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so my opponent's on desperation. Desperation mode here. Had I had second Bowmaster in play, things would have been even better. Here's a Leyline Binding on my ring. Okay. Is this Umnath? No, it's not Umnath. More protection. Okay, okay, game 3 here against Ludus. Yeah. I kick Frog is a good one. Let's play that. Pass. And then my opponent kind of needs to sweeper. Ooh, this hand is cool. This hand is darn cool. So keep Black Lotus, White Bloom. My opponent counters. I can play this as my land. Oh, maybe that's bad logic. I get negated here. My opponent's down to 4 cards. Play out the Mox. What if my opponent goes Ursus Saga? I get Wasteland and I want this land to die. Yeah, I think this is okay. The only bad thing about playing out Wasteland here is my opponent goes Ursus Saga. I would have wished that I played out Witch Enchanter and had March for the Saga, but now it works great because now I have a white source left. Vexing Bauble. I'll play it out. Mainly because I have the flexibility to cycle that whenever. My opponent shows they have a blue card and a force, I guess. Do I go for the throat here and march the Mox? I think that's decent. That is how it works, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I need to draw a land, and I'm kind of golden. How did my opponent get all of those permanents? Okay, they have a One Ring in play. They have protection? No protection. Okay. I feel like I should Bowmasters. I lose 2 life there. Okay. I draw Mana Crypt, which is funny because now we kind of have the open box of chocolates here. My opponent showed the Force of Will, like the pay 1 life scenario. If I crack this Bauble to play White Plume and I get forced, my opponent can kind of get into the game. I'm going to pass here. Blue-black lure is incoming? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Not gonna crack the bauble yet. I'm gonna draw the land. No, I'm not. Okay. Okay. I cracked the bauble. I give in. Is there a world where I can get this Mox spell pierced? Does that world exist? Mm-hmm. Wow, this is amazing for me. Getting the Mox forced? That's the dream. So, I mean, my opponent does play Time Vault. And now I only have a fair plan. This smells a lot of Fatal Push, I will say. This smells a lot of Fatal Push. Archon is not a bad draw, per se. But I think it's better to just chain initiative creatures. So this looks like Revolt, Push. Nope. Look, okay, Soul Rend. That's also pretty sick. Soul Rend. Hmm. Archon now. Not too slow. Archon is kind of cool because it slows down the game. It's very hard to deal with, like, profitably and then play on. My opponent gaining some life here. Brawler. Not the best card. Guess we cast Grief here to see if we should give the Frog flying. Planar Genesis. You bet. Maybe my opponent's looking for a white card, or Solitude itself. Here's Alberto's spell for the turn, by the way, thanks to Archon. So this is the mana. Okay, so opponent gains a lot of mana. So maybe this is Hardcast Solitude. That's beautiful. Using Planar Genesis on the opponent's turn. In the narrative, sure. Get to have a look. So yeah, I care about Wrath of the Skies. Act the hero. I feel like I should discard my card in hand. Sure. Okay, my opponent developed an Urza Saga in Vintage. Let's trap. Opponent's at 13. Can only play one spell, which is very important. That means land is a bad draw here. Unless that land is called Wasteland. White Plume, draw. Wasteland the Saga. But not before attacking because of Fatal Push and Revolt and all of that jazz. So if I do it on upkeep, yeah, this is good. If I do it on upkeep, I steal a mana from my opponent. So this unlocks Fatal Push, but I think that's okay. When it's at 6, they'll go to 3. Omnath is too strong here, I feel like. Vexing Bauble. Sure. And my opponent can crack that on my turn to get Revolt. I get to go to the throne. Okay, they crack it right away. I feel like that's a mistake because of Archon. If they draw Fatal Push there, they don't have Revolt on my turn. Yeah, that's going to do it. Okay. 2-0 in Vintage. And getting crushed in Modern. Theory, reset the One Ring. Full set of Leyline bindings in play, that's cool. Why are we offering this trade? I don't think I'm good enough to figure that out. I need to practice some Modern in the future. A lot of stuff going on here that's not easy. Okay, my opponent found a Solitude in the meantime. Punish the double block. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, my opponent gets rid of that card. Okay. It does look like a board where the opponent is very happy about just playing on, right? Here's the Inquisition that I can't cast. Okay, we can go to the next game here. My opponent successfully stabilized. My sideboard has been terrible against the matchups I've faced today. Really terrible. Maybe it's like 2 pushes for 2 to rest. Because Fatal Push can still kill Omnath. But yeah, it's really not ideal. I missed terribly with my sideboard. I really like it, like all of these different fair decks seeing play. I like that a lot. I like the Boros Energy deck. I like Necro. I like all the decks I've played against. Like, that's just my kind of Magic. Oof, this is a bad hand. Opponent's also on a Molder 6. That does help a little bit. I can go and get the Surveillant. So yeah, I'm facing Elimination. I need to win 2 games in a row against True Hero. If I don't, I'm eliminated and the stream is done, which would be a shame. Let's get that Soul Spike out of here. Terrible draw. I definitely encourage you to go to the official stream on the Magic Online Twitch channel. They will be covering, I guess they're already going. This is round 3 after all, so. Probably has some cool decks lined up. Oh, this sucks. This is not exactly what you want to see. Mulligan into and draw too many lands and Soul Spike. That's like when this deck looks like a bad joke. This deck is good when you can, like, Grief Rebirth, Necro this, turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Psychic Frog, kill your blocker, start drawing cards. So let's see what's this. Oh, Planar Genesis? Sure. I love that card. It's like 2024 Impulse. You can ramp or put a permanent card in hand, right? Or just any card. Any card. Yeah, that card is very good. Misty Rainforest. Let's see, what do we have? One Ring is a good guess. I'm at a state right now in Modern where I haven't played a ton, but I did play a bit before the PT. And I'm at this state that I remember when I was a kid, or, well, I guess I was a big kid, but like 10 years ago, when it always felt like the opponent's deck is better than what I'm doing, which is pretty funny because it's obviously not the case. It's just your emotions, right? The glass is half empty. Yes, sir. Draw. I remember this from last time. I kill the orc. The damage and growing happens at the same time. State best effect and all of that. Nice Inquisition that I can't cast on this turn cycle. I think that makes it too weak. Psychic Frog gets swept. I mean, it's that or slow rolling, so, or slow playing rather. So pass, and if I get like Wrath, by actual Wrath of the Skies, it's funny, it's called Wrath. If I get Wrath, I have Malakir Rebirth to let the frogs survive, I guess. Let's see. Leyline Binding. My opponent's a dirty boy, so get rid of Bowmasters and go to town. True Hero's living the dream here. This deck looks like it's quite weak to combo. True Hero, I can pull up the list here. True Hero plays walkers, sure. Creatures, removal spells, a little bit of cantripping with One Ring and Leyline Binding. No counter spells, no nothing. Yeah, this deck is very much tuned to beat fair. Draw 2 cards, that works. Here's Teferi, which is annoying. Bouncing my frog, I guess. Yeah. Bounce frog, that worked. Now I can attack Teferi, replay the frog. It looks like the One Ring is absurd right now in Modern. I wonder if we're at a place where you're supposed to find, you know, oh, here's an ending on the orc even. Okay. Like find anti-ring cards like Bone Crusher and Cresting Beast and stuff like that. So Psychic Frog Necro is not bad. Yes, I should do that. Psychic Frog. Necro. And then I draw some cards and I put them into the frog. I can't Soul Spike. I have to remember that. Draw. I have to discard 2 more. I want to go Inquisition. Maybe this is fine. Opponent goes to 6. Full grip. Playing an Omnath deck. I'm not optimistic here. This could be all she wrote. This could be all she wrote. It's cool to play these tournaments. I look forward to it a lot. And then there's a little bit of stress getting all the tech and stuff ready. But mainly it's been very, very enjoyable. One Ring, sure. So how many ways do I have to kill Teferi? I have Profane, and I have March. And if I kept the land, I would have had Inquisition, but that wouldn't work against the Fairy. So what I do here is I attack the Fairy with Frog, which the One Ring does not help with. Here's Solitude. I don't mind gaining some extra life here. Still to vary. Card is too strong. Get it out of here. If that doesn't work, I'll March, pitch Inquisition, and try and kill it. Sage you my Necro in response. Yes. Nice play. Nice play, opponent. I didn't realize, or, well, I didn't think about that you could get, I knew you could get duels, but I haven't played, like, Beseiju Surveil Land situation before. That's kind of cool. Makes Beseiju slightly worse. Opponent with 8 cards in hand. Playing with a little bit of fire here. Here's good old Omnath. Love that card. I used to play it a ton in Modern when it came out, and in Pioneer. Here's Fetch. Opponent goes to 8. My opponent fetches here. They can gain 4 mana. Looks like a good old Prismatic ending. And then my opponent can go. Then my upkeep gained 3 more effectively by fetching. I feel like I should Sheldred and March the Omnath. I can only win if my opponent has more or less nothing in hand. I can't recommend that spot. I think it's go time for me here. Pitch. Do I want to keep the Fatal Push? No, I have to pitch both, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have to both. Very bad. Done. Pass. That card is gone. I gained some life. I have a Sheldred going against my opponent's One Ring. How many Solitudes are gone? 1. Yeah. This is likely over very soon. Let's see. What did they do with Planner Genesis? Okay, cast another one. Good old Sheldred, trying to get the job done. Leyline Binding gets rid of Sheldred. My opponent's at 2. So can't draw with the ring. We'll go to 1 next time. Guess we play that. Pass on my opponent's graveyard, which doesn't do anything. And there's the dagger. The Omnath. Locus of Creation. Gain 4. Draw 3. One Ring. Kill the old One Ring. And what can we draw? Fatal Push. I'm going to attack here. This is a very bad situation to be in. I can't recommend it, but I think it has to be done. Get Revolts. Try and kill the Omnath. No cards. Opponent will gain 3 in response, effectively. Go to 7. Or go to 8, sorry. Full grip. Yeah, this is over. Third Omnath. Gain 4. Random 6 bag of fetch land. Good games. Good luck in the rest. And that eliminates us from the showdown. Ooh, that was a tough one. I feel like I played against 3 tough matchups, like dedicated control and then just blue-black more solid mid-range in round 1. That was not the day for me to do well in Modern, but yeah, I had a fun time. It's always fun competing in those. So yeah, that'll do it. I hope you guys will enjoy the rest of the day. For example, with some awesome Magic over on the Magic Online Twitch channel, or any of your favorite creator who's still in the tournament. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the future. Bye, guys.